Hello, let's talk about some of the common quality defects we may see at Uni-Grip during our daily production. We have what we call dual durometer parts, which are part sponge and part dense material, and inside is a wire. Sometimes the wire will poke through the carrier section and you'll see these little dots of wire. It is a very common defect on our dual durometer. Always something to be watching for. Some other common defects that we have at Uni-Grip: double tucking. We have roll mill that inserts steel inside of the rubber. Sometimes the rubber legs bunch up like this and will not allow the material to go on the flange. Very common defect to watch out for in production. Next, we have tape parts. There are some that eventually get stretched or wrinkled. This is a good indication of too much tension on the tape line or not enough. But the tape will stretch and get a pinkish, thin look to it. Always something to look for. Next up, tape not stuck. A lot of our parts here at Uni-Grip do get tape applied. This one, as you can see here, has a nice little gap where the tape is not stuck to the profile. Something to always be checking for in production. Next up, ripped drain holes. This is a problem that we have in production sometimes. There's supposed to be a nice little clean hole here and the drill has drug across it. You can see that very well, but it's something to watch out for. Blisters. We get sometimes in our compound, it should be a nice black smooth finish, and we'll get blisters in our parts. Always something to call your quality tech over. Another issue we have with dual durometer parts, here we have the sponge section and the dense rubber section. The dense is ran very heavy on this. It's supposed to be a much bigger gap in this area to allow it to go on to the finished product. Next up, dual durometer drag. Drag can happen on roll mill parts, dual durometer, tape line parts. And it's basically when the substrate or the rubber is stretched and the steel is put in or the tape is put on and then it curls back. Basically, a lot of our parts should be hanging nice and straight. If you hold it and it's got a curly Q or a wave in it, it's a good indicator of too much drag on the part. It can always cause issues for the customer. A few more that we have. Visual limit board. I'm going to show you again the ripped drain holes. It should look like this. And up close of that double tuck, these legs are bunched up inside of here and won't allow it to go on to the application. Heavy belt marks sometimes we have in production. And here's a really good example of wire showing. Never want to see that on a part.